In this session, we will be learning how to prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries. At the end of this session, you will be able to know what solar batteries are, identify what DC cables, crimping tool, lug connectors, cutting pliers and knife are, and perform the steps to prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries. A solar battery is a device that can be added to a solar power system to store the electrical energy generated by solar panels. The stored energy can be used to power electrical applications during night, power outages, and cloudy days when solar panels do not generate electricity. Battery functions in PV systems are to store energy produced by the photovoltaic PV array and supply it to electrical loads as needed to power electrical loads at stable voltages, suppressing transients, and to supply surge currents to electrical loads or appliances. Battery operation includes discharge and charge. Discharge is when a battery delivers current quantified by the discharge current or rate. Charging is a process when a battery receives or accepts current quantified by the charge current or rate. The DC cables or solar wires used in this system are made from either copper or aluminium. These materials provide reliable connectivity and has the ability to transfer electricity from solar panels to home. Each wire located inside a 4 mm DC cable works as a conductor, and the cable is comprised of multiple such conductors. A lug is an electrical connector that combines a bolted stud hole connection and a wire crimp connection. It is important to consider both the mechanical and electrical requirements when selecting a lug connector. The factors are the type of tongue, that is rectangular, ring, spade, and so on. The mechanical size, that is tongue size and thickness, and hole size for the cable selected. The electrical considerations such as the current carrying capacity that may also determine some of the mechanical dimensions. The cable material helps decide the electrical and mechanical requirements for the lug and the base material of the lug, and the place of connection will determine the minimum tongue size and the barrel size. The most commonly used base materials are copper and brass. Nickel, aluminium, and steel are also used, but less frequently. Some lug connectors that are normally used in practice terminals are rectangular, ring, spade, and flanged spade lugs. The ends of cables can be prepared for termination with lugs by the soldering process or by mechanical means, compression or crimp fitting. In crimp compression fitting, a ring-tongued terminal lug is to be compressed to the bayed end of an insulated multi-strand cable. The process is called crimping, and the tool used is called crimping pliers or crimping tool. Compression type connectors apply and maintain pressure by compressing the connector around the conductor. The crimping tool is operated by squeezing the handles. The jaws move together, grip, and then crimp the fitting. Using the crimping tool that matches the specific crimp lug will give the correct crimping force for a properly executed crimp. Properly executed crimp will indent the top of the lug, and the indentation will hold the conductor securely. If the terminal has too deep a crimp, the strength of the joint is reduced. With too shallow a crimp, the electrical contact has a high resistance. Selection of the correct crimping tool is essential. A properly crimped terminal, as shown here. Terminal lug crimping pliers are available in lengths ranging from 180 to 300 mm. Let's now look at some advantages of crimping terminations. A properly made crimp is better in electrical conductivity and mechanical strength and is less costly. When the same size cables are to be terminated through lug connectors, the crimping process is faster than soldering. The crimping operation surely needs good skill, but the soldering operation needs advanced skills. The heat generated in the conductor sometimes melts the solder and the connection is open circuited, but the crimped connection will not open that easily. An electrician's knife is used to cut cables and wires and skinning its plastic insulation and cleaning the wire surface. The size of the knife is specified by its largest blade length, for example, 50 mm, 75 mm. A plier is made up of forged steel and is used for cutting, twisting, pulling, holding, and gripping small jobs in wiring assembly and repairing work. It is used for electrical work and will have an insulated grip. A non-insulated type is also available. Insulated pliers are used for working on live lines. Pliers come in other variants as well. Flat nose pliers BIS 3552, long nose pliers or snip nose pliers with side cutter BIS 5658, side cutting pliers or diagonal cutting pliers BIS 4378, and round nose pliers. It is important to take care of pliers and maintain them appropriately. Ensure you do not use pliers as hammers. Do not use pliers to cut large-sized copper or aluminium wires and hard steel wires of any size. While using pliers, avoid damages to the insulation of hand grips and lubricate hinged portions. Here is the procedure to prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries. Make sure you have the tools and instruments or equipment required to prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries such as DC cables, connectors or lugs of same size as cables, a crimping tool, cutting pliers, and a knife. To prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries, measure the distance between terminals of two batteries. Then, cut the DC cables of the required length and cut the sleeve at the ends using knife. Insert the connectors or lugs and use a proper crimping tool and crimp off the ends on the connectors. Cover the ends with black or red tapes or a dot of paint to identify later polarities. We have reached the end of this session on prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries. By now, you should be able to know what solar batteries are, identify what DC cables, crimping tool, lug connectors, cutting pliers and knife are, and perform these steps to prepare connecting wires for grouping of solar batteries.